Hello, everyone. Welcome to Three Essential Questions podcast, New Mexico's business and nonprofit podcast. I am your host, Pam Myers, and my fabulous co host is Erica Yoakum. We are here today with Carla Ward. Carla is the owner of the Tinkertown Museum off of I 40 in Sandia Crest. Carla's husband spent 40 years, maybe more, she's going to tell us, creating the Tinkertown Museum. And his miniature, right? He started out by carving miniatures that were part of a traveling exhibit in fairs and carnivals in the 60s and 70s. And
Wow.
now you have a 22-room museum that's animated, which is phenomenal.
What? Okay, what? Okay,
Right,
what?
right. So welcome, Carla. Thanks for joining.
Yes.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Now, both we were talking before we went live with this that both of us, both Erica and I, have never been and have intended to go. We keep saying, "Oh, we need to go," but we have not made it. Now we're definitely going to make it after
Yeah,
talking.
this would be a lot. I've driven by it and thought, I wonder what that is. So
Yeah. I mean, it sounds so cool.
yeah. So
Yeah.
what exactly? What is it?
Yeah. So,
Everybody asks that, and it's something that you have to experience to really believe.
right.
It's pretty remarkable that Ross was such a creative artist. He was a carnival and circus painter, is what his day job was. He traveled all over the country painting fun houses and merry-go-rounds and dark rides, and worked for all kinds of different carnivals and ride manufacturers. And that's what his day job was. And that literally funded our building the museum. And we started collecting because he had already started all the carvings. He had it in a little trailer. We would take it around to state fairs, and we decided to make it a permanent home here in Sandia Park on the road to Sandia Crest. In the early 80s, we became a neighborhood recycling center because we started collecting bottles from the sides of the roads and building bottle walls. We have 55,000 bottles cemented in.
Wow. Okay.
It took about 20 years. We have many. It's pretty remarkable. And then just building each room kind of continued the whole theme of the Western town, of the circus, dolls and toys and collections of old tools, because Ross traveled so much all around the country painting in carnival winter quarters. They had big barns with all kinds of signs and tools and all kinds of antiques and old arcade machines that they just were happy to have him take home. And he always knew a place where it would go. Our most popular arcade machine is a grandma fortune teller that was.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, she's great. We have all of her original fortunes. She came from Riverview Park in Chicago. She was built in 1941, and we keep her going, and that's always a big challenge. But all of our
car. Yeah, I mean,
everything
anybody who's familiar
is-
with Big is familiar with what you're talking about. Yeah. Wow. How
And then-
oh, I'm looking at some of the pictures now on your website, and this is amazing. This is
Looks pretty cool.
yeah, it's very cool. So I'm still trying to wrap my brain around what made him. How did this? So this is his artwork. This is his artwork. This is how he.
Well, because we all travel. We traveled all over the country painting carnival rides. Plus, growing up, my family traveled by car, and we always wanted to go to these quirky little roadside attractions. And that's really kind of what was the impetus behind building Tinkertown here. As it was sort of like, well, let's just build our own roadside attraction because all of these ones are, closing down.
Oh.
And it's just one of those unique Route 66 roadside attractions that brings in, we have about 25,000 visitors that come every season.
Wow.
We started out, 41 years ago and had 943 people that came through. Now we have over 25,000. And we're only open now 4 days a week. Since COVID, we just don't want to work that hard for the season. We're open April to November, Fridays through Mondays. And then during the week, I do reserve time for school groups that come with big buses. And 40 or 50 kids can run amok here and have a great old and not interfere with all the other customers. And it works out
for that.
Well.
As a zoo person, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So one of my all-time favorite books is American Gods. And
yes.
And they go to several of these kind of roadside attraction things. But one of the things that they talk about in the book is how places are built on that. Usually the creator of that place is drawn to that particular place because it's a node of power. Like it might be a crossing of ley lines or something like that. It's usually a place of power that they're drawn to then create these things. I'm just curious if anything like what made you pick that spot?
Well, Ross had bought this property in 1969.
Oh my God. Okay. So he paid like $1.98 for it, right?
It was a 4-room cabin. It was like up here in the mountains. He was married with 2 kids, and my brother and I bought the cabin across the driveway in 73. That's how we all met. And it was just, it's just a unique spot. I went off and married somebody else, and we both got divorced around the same time and just decided, hey, let's just bloom where we're planted and build the museum here. And we just did. And it worked out great because they had just paved the road to the crest in the late 70s. And, people were driving up here more often. And it just happened. And then my brother wanted to go sailing around the world. And so we were able to buy his share of the house out so we could literally build the museum here. And we have his sailboat that he spent 10 years sailing around the world that he had bought in 81. The boat was built in England in 1936. It's an old wooden sailboat. Wow. I sailed with him many times. So we have this really nice family connection of traveling around the world on an old wooden sailboat. And that's a great display here. People love it. And it's really unique.
Wow.
Holy cow.
I know, right? So what's your favorite part of it?
Yeah.
Well, I was a potter for 30 years, and we built a gift shop so I could sell my pottery. And
brilliant.
And I was like working, I kind of created the gift shop. And my favorite part of the museum, though, is the Western town, because I think that's so unique. And Ross had built this amazing town, a miniature town, 30 buildings, 300 people. There's a blacksmith shop, a hotel, a general store, a pharmacy. There's everything, even a toy shop in this town. It's pretty cool.
Wow. Oh yeah, I know we have to get over there to see it now.
Yeah, right?
What's the farthest? I mean, I imagine you probably talk to people and ask where they're from.
We have a map. And people put in pins, and they're from all over. We just had somebody from Iran here just this last week.
Wow.
And we've had the other day we had 3 different couples from France who were driving Route 66 from Chicago, and they stopped. And we have people from all over the world and all over the country.
Yeah. How fun that must be. I mean, to share what you created, what you and your husband created with all these people. I mean, yeah, gives me goosebumps just thinking about it.
This is amazing. You're right, Pam. I definitely have to get out there and see this, because I'm looking through the pictures, and it's like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's some beautiful artwork.
Mm-hmm.
When we first started Tinkertown, Ross had grown up in South Dakota and had spent a lot of time in the Black Hills working for a antique car museum. And what he learned from working in South Dakota when he was like 18, 19, 20 years old, was the community of the Black Hills and how they communicate, how they work together and produced like brochures and maps and things for tourists to find all these different attractions. So in 1983, when we first opened, we worked with the Sandia Crest House and with Madrid, the Mineshaft Tavern, and the Barn Dinner Theater that used to be in Cedar Crest, and up in Cerrillos, the Whatnot Shop. And we created the Turquoise Trail, and we had
Oh,
we lost her. No, Carla.
Got together with our community and started creating this Turquoise Trail. And we have a brochure of all of the businesses in Cedar Crest and Sandia Park and Madrid and Cerrillos. And we print and distribute about 150,000 brochures every year, and have been doing it for 40 years. And we became a National Scenic Byway, and it's really promoted this whole area. And it was what I would say helped create our business because of joining with all the other communities and businesses along the Turquoise Trail on the road to Santa Fe.
Wow.
And I know you're probably wanting to ask a question, but
yes, yes.
I can't hear you, and I don't know why.
Thank you, everybody, for putting
there's
up
your
with our
chat.
technical difficulties.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Great. Yeah.
Oh, yay!
I can tell you we are open until the end of October.
Yeah.
And then we open again in April.
Okay. So we need to get there.
But you can find us on your website.
Okay. All right. Well, Carla, thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast today. It was just wonderful getting to talk to you about everything. And we hope that
it's $6 for adults and $3 for kids, by the way.
Oh, okay. Good. Thank you for that shout out. That's great. Okay. All right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to introduce myself to you guys. Hope to see you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thanks everybody for listening.